No fighting. I like to introduce myself.
All right.
Good evening.
That's me, T-Kid.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike, and I have the great privilege and pleasure of saying a few words for Paul. I'd like also to thank everyone tonight, in particular Paul's parents and the Ashburns as well, for being here. Making this a very special day for Paul and Elise. Actually, I have to give Paul a lot of credit for even allowing me to come near a microphone tonight. The volume of compromising information that I have. On top of that, actually, I can think really a few things that Paul has less tolerance for than having to listen to me sing his praises publicly without even the chance to be rebutted. So, kudos, Paul. Thank you for the honor. I appreciate that. I've known Paul since we were 8 years old. And the last 26 years, the next 20 seconds or so, we've been pretty good friends. Actually, Paul was one of the first people I met when my family moved to Dayton, Ohio, where we grew up. And really, I remember meeting him pretty well because in the first 5 minutes, I got into serious trouble. And in the next 2 days, we were actually separated permanently. That's true. And it has nothing to do with anything, but my first real memory of Paul is his constructing this elaborate fortress of easels and boxes around his desk in the very back of the classroom where he had been banished. And I don't know what it says about our education system at that time. But at one point, the teacher either didn't notice or didn't care that Paul literally hadn't been seen in days. And then he had put a little sign on the outside of the fortress that said Paul's prison. Put a little picture of him tucked behind bars, so it was almost as if he knew he'd be spending the rest of his life in a cubicle. Paul and I went on to, well, I had a fortress of my own, by the way. It was called Mike's Dungeon. Paul and I went on to share countless public embarrassments together in junior high and high school, on the soccer field, football fields, debate halls, our teen reunion, actually. We also continue to get into trouble together. We have more than our fair share of run-ins with the City of Oakwood Police Department. He was persona non grata at my house for a little while. Actually, following one particular incident, there was a summit of the parents that was held, at which it was decided that we should probably be grounded for spring break and should probably not hang out with each other for a little while. The separation thing, it never really worked. We went on to separate places in college, but after that we went to Washington, D.C. together, where we shared a couple of disgusting apartments over 5 years, and bravely fought off vermin infestations together. We also went on a 3-month-long spontaneous cross-country odyssey that was part Jack Kerouac adventure, part National Lampoon's Disaster. Needless to say, I know this guy pretty well. Now, invariably, the question gets asked in this speech, what's the groom really like? Who is the real Paul Fane? Many of you know him as the award-winning intrepid journalist that he is, the tireless advocate of important social and environmental causes. He is also, of course, a master home brewer, very fine beverages, amateur boxer, former lead bassist for the Hopwoods rock group. If you went to college with Paul, you may recall he was an editor at the University of Delaware newspaper writing under the name Malacca. Or you may simply remember him as the guy from Ohio with unbelievable checking ability and and there's others in DC may simply think of him as the guy that caught himself on fire at his own party. So Paul is all these things and a great deal more. We all know him as a master storyteller, extremely intelligent, articulate, clean. Yes. I could go on. And actually, when I sat down and made a list of Paul's attributes, it started to get out of control. So I would spare all of you and him for having to listen to words like romantic, dangerous. It's also got a lot more than that. A lot of fighting. Two-fisted All-American, things like that. So instead, I thought I would choose as an example only one of his attributes to discuss tonight. I apologize that we're all standing. Paul assured me everyone would be seated and relaxed until about 2 minutes ago. Right at my height of my nervous level, he launched that on me. Loyalty is it's the cornerstone of any successful friendship or marriage. And It's also one of Paul's defining characteristics. It's tough to find an example of pure loyalty